I know that Diddy is extremely wealthy. That money, celebrity, and power protected him for decades, but his actions finally caught up with him. He is behind bars, and money does not grow on trees, as they say. I have lost track of how many lawsuits have been filed against the disgraced music mogul over the last few weeks. But this latest one, yes, yet another one that I have not reported on until now, this one is, you've been warned. The details are just, God, I'm so exhausted. This latest victim has filed a lawsuit against Diddy in New York, and she claims that he repeatedly violated her, took advantage of her, and at one point even got her pregnant. I'll get to that, but first, the lawsuit was filed by a Jane Doe, meaning this victim does not want to identify herself. And not only is she suing Diddy, but she is also suing several of his associates, his companies as well, and is seeking undisclosed damages for physical injuries, severe emotional distress, humiliation, anxiety, and other harm. And as we've heard many times, the allegations that she's going to recount involve drugs, illegal recordings, and more. But what's interesting, especially so, about this lawsuit is how recent everything happened. The woman claims that she met Cassie's ex-boyfriend overseas in the fall of 2020. And that the assaults and awfulness continued until July of this year. Not a surprise. When he was arrested, the police found him with a substance, the pink powder, the MDMA, the Molly, or whatever the heck the kids call it. So yes, even after the authorities raided his 2 homes and he knew that he was under investigation, he continued his behavior. He just thought he was above the law. He thought that he would not pay for his actions. He thought he could continue to do this. Jane Doe says she often was coerced and harassed into traveling to Combs' homes in New York, Los Angeles, and Miami, and other cities, including monthly in 2021 and 2022. Pause. If she is, that's okay. Have any of you just thought of what I'm about to say? Maybe this woman is a professional, you know what I mean? Like an S worker, a professional person of the night or day, of intimacy. And that's fine, because even if that is the case, that doesn't make it right what this man did according to her. In the newly filed lawsuit, it is stated, quote, at every visit, Combs would make her perform a show for him and would ply her with alcohol and substances until she passed out. She would wake up with bruising and injuries, but with no recollection of how she sustained her injuries. In a July 2022 encounter with Diddy at his Los Angeles home, the woman alleges in the lawsuit that she was forced to ingest drugs she believes included ketamine and blacked out. She later took a pregnancy test after this encounter a while and told Combs that it was positive. One of his associates repeatedly demanded she get an abortion. She ended up having a miscarriage. This past July, just a few months ago, Jane Doe says that Diddy commanded her to go to his home in Miami, where she alleges that Sean shoved 2 pills in her mouth. She says the next morning she felt ill and confused and could not remember what happened the night before, and that the bedroom was in disarray. Wait, it gets even crazier. Like, remember one of the first things that I said when reporting all of the Diddiness, that I said, it reminds me of The Godfather, racketeering charges. He is the Godfather. Jane Doe says in her lawsuit that Diddy and his associates tracked her location and monitored her conversations. Wait, she was a kept woman. The lawsuit alleges that Diddy discouraged her from working and gave her an allowance that he used to control her. He probably did that with many people. But the more we hear in these detailed lawsuits, the more things are repeated, it just bolsters the credibility of the claims. Like, I believe these victims. I believe this. This is who he is. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Thoughts on this? Thoughts on everything? Let me know in the comments.